All right, so I'm kind of amped about this product in front of me. Yes, I'm a little bit weird. I get excited about strange things. This, no different. I've been working with big files, large files for a long time now. If you're in the video world at all, then you are familiar with this, particularly if you get into the ProRes type of video file formats. You get used to the idea of projects being hundreds of gigabytes. In some cases, it could be like a terabyte. I know it's wild. Now, of course, there's other people out there who use a lot of storage themselves and are constantly transferring files and so forth. But in the video world specifically, that's the one I'm familiar with, and it can be a major headache transferring stuff around. So when you see something like this, a product like this, all of a sudden you can get a little bit pumped. You can get a little bit amped. This is an NVMe SSD inside of a tiny little rugged chassis. And this thing, the LaCie Rugged SSD Pro, claims to give you transfer speeds up to 2,800 megabytes per second. 2,800 megabytes per second. Now that's a crazy speed. If you have never experienced Thunderbolt 3 speeds, this is the type of thing you can come to expect. This, in some cases, can outperform people's internal storage inside of their laptop. The other crazy part for me, because I've been playing around with these gadgets for so long, is how to get those type of speeds. In the past, you would have to have some giant RAID storage device, a huge multi-unit hard drive situation to get that type of speed. Not something you could fit in your pocket. Now, obviously, with those storage solutions, you have redundancy. You don't have that here. It's all in one place, but still, I want to test this out. I want to see just how fast it is. I'm gonna run a speed test on it, and I'm gonna transfer some gigantic files so we can see what it's all about. High performance external NVMe SSD using Thunderbolt 3. This is the 1 terabyte model. It does come in a 2 terabyte version as well, but of course the cost escalates. Now this is a competitive marketplace. This isn't the only player in the super fast tiny little drive space. It's just the one that was most interesting to me because it's rugged. It's one of the smallest, even though it's still rugged. It's bus powered. It's got some attributes that I really like. Oh, also, this is one of the only ones out there that is backwards compatible to USB 3.1. So a lot of the other Thunderbolt 3 drives that exist will not function on computers that only support USB. Or even maybe if you wanted to bring this thing to like a game console or something like that, transfer game files quickly, those are only going to support USB 3, so you can do that with this one. Extreme water resistance, IP67 rated, protection from immersion in water, also dust resistant. Look, your files matter to you. You spend a lot of time accumulating those files, whatever it is that you make or you store. Get a little extra protection over there. Shock resistance for drops up to 3 meters. That's kind of nice. You slap it off the table. Don't slap it off the table, but in case you did. And pressure resistance. You can run over it with a 2-ton car. I'm not gonna do that in this video. I'm more interested in the speed in this video, but they're putting it on the box. 4,410 pounds you could run it over with. That's pretty good. Again, I misplaced the knife. My goodness gracious, how do I keep misplacing this knife? It's the official Unbox Therapy knife that I keep misplacing. And I'm still using it, and it stays sharp. In case you missed this, this was a collaboration between myself and Stat Gear. These guys actually have been making really nice pocket knives for a while. It's a special limited edition that we did, and there are a few left on Amazon. I'll drop a link in the description if you want to pick one up. It comes with a cool little samurai storage spot, and if you didn't notice, it actually looks like a samurai sword. And if you want to get these limited color options, they're only available in the Unbox Therapy version with the gold blade and all the rest of it. So go check that out. Okay, some paperwork, more paperwork, lots of... Look how tiny! Look how tiny! My goodness! It's even smaller than I imagined. It's like a couple pairs of AirPods. Okay, maybe 4 pairs of AirPods. Now, drop protection. That's what you're gonna want. Just gives you a little extra confidence. In the commercial they made for this thing, you got the guys, they're on the boat, they got the wakeboarding, they're sending the drones up. They're not worried because they have, well, they got the water resistance, obviously. I guess but if you drop it in the lake, you still got to swim down, and you want to swim down, maybe they should have made it bright. The old ones used to be bright orange. In fact, I used to work in a computer shop. I sold a ton of the bright orange LaCie drives back when they actually had a spinning drive on the inside. But still, video professionals loved the idea of a durable drive like that. Okay, so pretty nondescript. You're like, what is that? Well, it's pocketable, that's for sure. The only port you're gonna see on here, a Thunderbolt 3 port. And of course, Thunderbolt 3 uses the USB Type-C connector. That's why this one is backwards compatible, but for some strange reason, the vast majority of portable Thunderbolt 3 drives are not backwards compatible. So that's why you should check this one out. Look at that. They give you a tiny little baby Thunderbolt cable, which, believe it or not, this is actually not common. Oftentimes, you gotta pick up your own Thunderbolt cable. Now, I don't know how useful this tiny one is, but obviously they expect you to use this with a laptop, in which case, I suppose this is useful. And portable was dangerous. If you're gonna carry it around with you everywhere, then the cable should be easy to carry in your pocket as well. This is a MacBook Air. Boom. And as you can probably know, this is a very bizarre way to do this. Look at that. I didn't plan this, I promise. But as you can see, we have the famous Blackmagic disk speed test. Now this will test the speed of either your internal or any external storage that you have. You can set that as the target disk. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this up. This little makeshift, look at this with the overhead, it's all working. This is gonna be familiar to a lot of people. It's cool the way they lay it out too. It's in some sort of, makes it seem like a speedometer. It makes it seem like you're traveling quickly. Well, you are, but just in drive land. So to kick it off, let's test the internal storage on this MacBook Air. This MacBook Air, of course, has internal SSD storage, very quick, no external connection necessary, so it's getting that full bandwidth, full throughput. So let's test that out first. And you can see that's very fast. But of course, the problem here is that you don't, well, for one, you're gonna run out of storage quickly if you try to save gigantic video files to your laptop directly. And for two, some people get a little bit nervous with the all the eggs in one basket type of concept. You're throwing all that data in one place along with your OS and everything else. If there was an issue with it, well, you're kind of out of luck. So most people like to use an external place to store things. Also, I can't just give somebody my laptop if they're gonna work on the video footage. This little guy over here, I could hand that to somebody. Obviously, there's not much handing off going on right now, 2020 style, but in a regular environment, you could hand this off, someone could take it, you could stick it in your pocket, you could stick it in the mail if you wanted. You had like a terabyte of data that you couldn't upload for some reason. Anyway, okay, so that's the internal drive. You saw that work its way around. What do we have? The write speed, 2,241 megabytes per second. The read speed, 1,834. Now, of course, if you have a laptop that does not support Thunderbolt 3, this is gonna be a waste of money for you. This is a very expensive drive. The intent here is that you take advantage of that extra throughput. If you only have USB 3, then this is overkill. So we're gonna select this new target drive right here. And it's right over here. Let's see, open, and let's run our speed test. Oh, wow, okay. It's pretty close to the internal drive. Actually, the read speed is faster than the internal drive. The write speed's a little bit slower, but it's in the same realm. It's in the same wheelhouse, and you're connected via an external cable. That's the best part. You can hand it off, you can pass it off, and you have crazy fast speeds. Now, to put that in comparison, let me quickly grab, so we've been using these Samsung T5 drives in the studio for a really long time. They are USB 3 drives. So this is a good option if you want to save a few bucks and you only have access to USB 3. These are also very quick. But let's do a comparison. We will select that target drive real quick. So we'll start that up. And you'll see, man, it's like 1/3 the speed. That's still very fast. There's way slower drives out there in the world. This is the T5 from Samsung. But that's just, you're just limited there by USB, right? There's only so much that you can do. Now, I know what you're saying. You're thinking to yourself, Lou, why do you need this crazy speed? Can't you wait a couple of extra minutes or seconds? It's not just a question of waiting or speed. For example, if you want to record a video file straight to this drive, you may drop frames. You may not be capable of doing it if you don't have enough speed to support it. I have a desktop drive over there. It's like 20 times the size of this that I'm currently using with the video footage on it while I'm editing, going through the timeline and so forth. This thing is faster than that is now. Again, when it comes to the workflow, you can actually see some valid improvements with that extra speed. Plus, just for the typical transfer, you still feel really cool. You see the bar just flying across. Look, it's not gonna be for everyone. It is expensive. If you don't have Thunderbolt 3, you're probably not gonna be interested. If you do have Thunderbolt 3, it's time to start taking advantage of it, because you can move some stuff around real quick. And look, and you can even, and that's the best part, it's also rugged. It's all secure on there. There's nothing on there right now.